say every time I hear them that how much I appreciate him stepping forward during the primary to stand next to me, and it counted for an awful lot for me personally, and also I think in terms of credibility with the Democratic Party and those sorts of things. And this is short notice. I promised my wife at the beginning of this campaign that I would take 4 days in August that would just be for vacation, and she wanted to come down to Gate City where we have good people and kind of hang out with our friends and go to Carter Family Fold, that sort of thing. And when this event happened last week, we decided, well, maybe we'll just take some time from the vacation period and come up here and say hello to some people. I think most of you know about Senator Allen's remarks made in this county a little while ago. Part of that, I think, is unfortunate just in terms of bullying of an individual who was working with us. And we've got Senator Allen's guys right here with his camera on me. I've had a camera on me for 6 months. You know, at times I don't particularly like it, but that's just the way that it is. And there's been a lot of national coverage of a couple of things that Senator Allen said, but there's a couple other things that he said that haven't really gotten national coverage, but I will say to you, really caused me to understand a little bit more about how their campaign is going to be run. He was standing in this county not too long ago talking about me as an inside the Beltway guy who doesn't understand the people in this part of Virginia. And in fact, I think he said at one point, you know, Webb will never come here. Well, not only here, I've been coming to this part of Virginia for, well, probably since George Allen was still a Californian. And I think Senator Allen knows that. And if anybody's read the last book that I wrote, Born Fighting, it's a book about people who settled these mountains and the impact they had on American political and cultural values. And I took a long part of my life putting together that book. And a big part of it is right down here. You know, not just in a political sense, but in a personal sense. I've had a very strong time with the people of this culture, the people who settled these mountains since the day I was born. It's not something I learned about reading in a history book in a high school class in California. It's something that I had every night before I went to bed, and the family stories. You know, yesterday we were up in just north of Gate City, where my dad's family came out of, attending the graves of my great-great-grandparents. And my great-grandfather was born down there. And my grandfather was born just on the other side, in Morgan County, Kentucky. So we sort of got this county bracketed by the Webbs here. So it's a great feeling every time I come down here. I'm very proud to be with you all today. And you're going to see a lot more of us, not only in the next 80 days or so, but for the next 6 years if things work the way it looks like they're going to work. I was very proud a month ago, a little more than a month ago, to get the endorsement of the United Mine Workers. We got the endorsement of the AFL-CIO as of, I think, today. I met with them a few days ago. We had the meeting, and I was told that they unanimously voted to endorse our candidacy. So that's another thing that I think if you look at the difference between the approach that I am promising to take and the approach that you have seen from the other side, it's pretty clear. If I had to define my political beliefs, I would say that I'm a Jacksonian, an Andrew Jacksonian. Andrew Jackson, one of the founders of the modern Democratic Party, said you measure the health of a society not by how the people are doing at the top, but by how the working people are doing. And that's what we need a lot more of, I think, right now in the United States. We know one of the questions that I asked George Allen when we had our debate was why he voted to give himself a pay raise 4 times to the tune of $32,000 and voted against raising the minimum wage 4 times. I'm still waiting for the answer to that question. He didn't answer the debate. He hasn't answered it now. We haven't had an increase in the minimum wage in this century. We haven't had an increase in the minimum wage since 1997. And one of the things that I've been saying in this campaign is you can look at the charts, you can look at the data, where after-tax corporate profits in this country are the highest percentage of our national wealth in history. They've gone straight up. And wages and salaries, the average wage earners have gone down to the point that they're the lowest level in our recorded history in terms of the percentage of our national wealth. We need people who will fight for the workers. That's one of the reasons I decided to run. Another strong reason is what's happened in our national security situation, our whole national defense platform. I come from a family, like so many people back here, that has a strong military tradition. All the way back to the Revolutionary War. I had 3 direct ancestors in the Battle of Kings Mountain, which a lot of they call the Over the Mountain folks from this area and eastern Tennessee went in there and fought. My great-great-grandfather, whose grave I just tended, was in the Confederate Army.